Welcome to the Five Arms and a Lucky Fin podcast. I'm your host, Brendan McCormick, with my partner in crime, Jason Ide, Coach Finn. And we have an Indiana Hoosier in the house, Derek McCormick. No, he's not my cousin. Kicking specialist from last season. Welcome in, Derek.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's kick it off, man. We know you're from Port Charlotte, Florida. You're a Florida guy.
Yep.
How did Port Charlotte shape your approach to football and in life?
Yeah, well, Port Charlotte is a small town, and football is pretty big. It's not anything like Texas, but we appreciate football a lot down there. And yeah, I mean, pretty much start off like I was a soccer player growing up, and just like most kickers, they start off playing soccer, get a strong leg, and then you kind of just have that natural kicking instinct, I guess. Brother was a punter; he was 2 years ahead of me. We were both playing soccer, and for the high school team. He picked up a ball one day, punted it, went pretty far, and he came home and he was really excited about it and said they needed a kicker for the JV team. He automatically moved straight to varsity. And I quit soccer and went straight full-time into kicking. Was going out every weekend, training with Corn Blue down in Naples, Florida. And since then, that kind of jump-started me into gaining some attention. Once my brother moved out of high school, I took over the varsity role. I think my senior year broke the school record that my brother had previously held. And video kind of went viral a little bit, got some attention on Twitter, and then had coach start hitting me up. Honestly, a little later than most guys, probably going into my senior year is when I was in first contact with a coach.
Gotcha.
So yeah, just that pretty much was how it went down in high school, and from there, had, like I said, had a good amount of offers, but as a kicker, kind of all PWOs, preferred walk-ons, and I knew that I didn't really want to go crazy into student debt, want to stay close to home, have my family come watch me play, and so I had a small offer to an NAIA school. And decided to go there. That's where my brother was playing out of high school. He had went there, and he was going to be the punter, and I was going to be the kicker. So yeah, little brother duo.
How long did you guys play soccer growing up for?
Man, we played soccer. My brother was a lot better than me. He was like the semi-pro by like 16. He was really good. And I took playing soccer after him. So I started when I was about 8 years old, maybe. He started around 6, 7, so right around the same time, yeah.
Wow. So y'all grew up definitely just learning how to kick things and just kick the football one day.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And now you got that school record over him.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I always say that my brother, he set the records, but I broke the records because he'd always set the record, and then little bro comes in, and that in high school I had done that, and then when we went out over to Ave Maria down in South Florida, again, he set all the records his freshman year. I came in the following year, and then I beat all the records. So,
That's awesome.
he did it first, but I did it last, I guess. So who knows?
Yep.
You said, I'm going to do it better. Watch.
Exactly. I'm going to do it better. You did good, but I'm going to do it better. Yeah.
I bet that Thanksgiving's always fun.
Oh yeah. Big competitive family over here for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you punt and kick in high school, or did you just kick?
Yeah, so I punted and kicked. Never really had an interest to be a punter though. I did it because I kind of had to. We didn't have another punter once my brother left. But I always tell people like kicking and punting, goes hand in hand, both specialists. But I will always say there's more pressure punting than kicking, and a lot of people disagree with that. But I have felt the pressure of like being backed up in the end zone. Heels are 5 yards deep in the end zone and sold out crowd, and you got to get this ball off. And, in situations like that, they send the house because they're trying to get a safety or whatever. And, I'll never forget my sophomore year. We were playing a rival team, and that had happened. It was the first punt of the game, first quarter, and it was my first time playing a rival. And our rival down in South Florida was huge. Like, people came from all over the place to watch.
Wow.
And caught the snap in the end zone, felt it come off my foot, And, as a kicker, you kind of look down at the ball. You don't really look up for like another second. And I heard the crowd before I even saw where the ball went. And I look up, and I can't find the ball. And I kicked it came off the side of my foot into our band. So the other team got the ball on like the 7-yard line. And they're 7 yards away from scoring. So I'll never forget that feeling, that pressure that I felt. And I remember I went home and I was like, this is not for me. I never want to feel that again. You could line me up for a 50-yard field goal, 2 seconds left to win the game. I'll feel more confident than just getting a punt off. So yeah. So I took over the kicking role. I let my brother do all the punting. So
I got you. Was there a specific moment, would you say, where you thought, man, I can really go somewhere kicking this ball?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it took a while. I would say probably my junior year is when as a kicker, kind of the only way to really get exposure is you have to go to all these camps. But I didn't really go out of state. I just went to ones in Florida. So FAU, FIU, UCF. And it was FAU where I won my first camp. And I think it was my junior year. And I had like a one-on-one talk with like the head coach, and it went great. And obviously I was still a young guy, so it was kind of one of those things like, hey, you did great, follow up in a year or so, whatever. And then, they go see 100 other guys. But that moment was definitely pivotal for me because I kind of went home and I was like, dang, like I could really do this. In soccer, I mean, you're not competing against just guys in the U.S. You're competing against guys from all over the world who come down and play college soccer. And so I kind of knew like what's more realistic, football or soccer. And that's kind of where I started leaving, soccer to the side and just pursued football full time.
Did you ever have a weird game day ritual at all? I'm curious.
To be honest, when I first started, I was super, like very superstitious. Like I was, everything had to be the same. As I got older, I started to mature mentally, and I kind of stopped thinking like, okay, if I do this, I'm going to have a bad game. Once I got better at that, not so much. I'm a big music guy, so I don't listen, my way of getting amped up for the game and hyped up, like I throw like Mumford & Sons on, or like the Lumineers, or like Zach Bryan I listen to. So, I mean, I'm not a big rap kind of guy, hyped up in the weight room, but game day, headphones are in, and I'm just kind of hanging.
Yeah. Derek, you mentioned that you won the camp. So what does it mean to win a camp as a kicker?
Yeah, so a lot of times it's like a 2-miss elimination type of thing. So everybody rolls through, and you're up. Start off extra point. Next in line goes, and you wait in the back of the line for like a 20-yard left hash, 25 right hash. You go all the way back until high school. They usually by like 50 yards in high school, that's usually when there's like 1 or 2 guys left. And it's normally a 2-miss elimination. So you miss once, you get one more try. If you miss again, you're done for the camp. So like, I mean, you could travel 8 hours, get a hotel, do everything, prep, all this money, and you miss the 2 first kicks of the camp. Like you're done. Like you're packing your bag and you're going home, like type of thing. There's not, and that's just the life of a kicker. Like you just don't get many opportunities. It's not like, wide receiver, other positions, like quarterback could maybe, be off target a little bit, but you get 50 tries, 100 tries. Kicking is like you may only get like 10 tries. So you miss 2, you're kind of done. So that's where the pressure of kicking kind of comes in, is you don't have any room. You don't have any room for error, really.
That's crazy.
You kind of spoke on it a little bit. You wanted to say home, but what drew you to UL Monroe? You obviously were at the NAIA school.
Yeah.
What drew you to the UL Monroe? Was it just being closer to home? Was it just the environment? Was it the coaches?
Well, so my story is a little different than others. So my freshman year, Ave Maria, I'd always known, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get some film, and then I'm gonna transfer out. Like the goal was always to go to Division I. It was just a matter of like the right opportunity, money, scholarship type of thing.
Correct.
So I go to Ave. My first year, man, I'm on like cloud 9. I'm 18 years old. I just finished the season. I was 3-time school record holder. My first game kicking field goals, I hit a 52-yarder, a 55-yarder, a 48-yarder. I was National Player of the Year twice, freshman offensive player of the year, special teams offensive player of the year. Like I like crushed it. And after that year, my sister had passed away. And angry, yeah. But I turned a lot of it into like motivation. Like, okay, you know what? I was a runner-up for All-American my freshman year. This next year, I'm going to be an All-American. I was so motivated. I'm going to do everything for her. I'm going to be an All-American, then I'm going to transfer out. I'm going to go Division I. I already had a couple schools hit me up after my freshman year. Because NAIA, it's not NCAA. It's a little different. You can talk to other coaches and not get in trouble. And then going into my sophomore year, a day before our first game, found out that my father was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer. And so that hit a little different because I had all this motivation. And then my mom, called me the day before our first game of the season. My sophomore year was like, hey, your dad's not going to make it tomorrow to your games. He's not really going to make it to any games this year. He's home. He has to get better. Caught us all off guard. Went in my coach's office. My brother and I, we were like, look, we don't want to play football anymore. Like, we're done. Like, this is just how are we supposed to go play a game while our dad's back home, struggling. And so talked to the coach, talked to my family. We decided to stick it out. So my brother took that and he went. First team all conference, took off. Me on the other end, I did not handle it well. Like kicking it, it's like golf. It's so mental. I was in the best shape leading up to sophomore year, absolute best shape.
Yeah.
But the mental side, I couldn't. I forgot how to kick, and so I didn't have a great season. And I also didn't want to play football. That was the biggest thing. I had no motivation. I was like, I'm done with football. I'm only playing the season just to get through, and then I'm done. And my brother after the season, had a great year. ULM offers him a full scholarship. My brother's like, hey, I'm going to tell the coaches about you. Like, you're a great kicker. But after that year, man, my confidence, I was like, dude, I'm not kicking anymore. Like, I'm done. He's like, no, you got to remember, like, who you are. Like, think about last year, how great you did last year. Like, and I was like, nah, dude, like, I'm going to go to FAU. I'm just going to be a student at FAU, join a frat, who knows. Well, he ended up talking to the coaches, and then I get a call, and the coach offered me to come as a PWO. But in-state tuition. So I really didn't have to pay much. Declined the offer. A week later, he calls me again. He goes, hey, look, like, we really want you. Head coach got on the phone. Please, like, let's do this. You and your brother come. Let's turn this program around. So motivated me a little bit. My father had passed away a week before that offer. And so I was like, you know what? Kind of got that motivation back. Went to ULM, followed my brother. And he went in starting punter. And when I first got there, it wasn't like NAIA where, you only had like 2 kickers. There was like 8 kickers when I first got there. And I had no idea. And I ended up beating like 6 of them out. And then it was me and Oklahoma starting kicker, Callum Sutherland, who had transferred to ULM. Great kicker, great guy. So I sat behind him and I just learned. And I literally was really just trying to build that confidence back up.
Yeah.
To be who I was the year before, because the last year was a complete blur.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, it was more so what was going on around like my personal life that kind of, I guess, led me to ULM, I would say.
Yeah. What a story of like just persevering and powering through. And I mean, I can't imagine just battling that mentally, let alone, trying to live life and trying to play a sport. Like, that's honestly incredible, of just a testament to who you are.
And it's honestly, I mean, it's one, the hardest part about it is that when you walk into the locker room, the weight room, the football field, not that nobody cares about what's going on with you, but everybody's going through their own things. Your job is to cancel out all that noise and play football. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like, a lot of people, they watch game day on Saturday and they just see a bunch of guys out there playing great, but they don't realize, like, there's a whole nother life to you that people just have no idea. So while all this is going on and I'm going through the hardest thing in my life, I'd have to wake up the next day, walk in to the weight room and locker room and with a smile on my face and act like nuts. So nobody had any idea, not a clue.
Wow.
And that was the hardest part. And so I had to mature and grow up a lot faster than a lot of guys. Because like I said, my freshman year, I'm 18, I'm partying and got all these awards, and I'm, in sophomore year, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm only 19 years old, like, going through all this. And it took a lot of maturing and a lot of mentally getting stronger while still playing football and playing a position that is all mental,
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it just speaks to who you are, man. Just the grit and determination that you have and willing to grow up. I mean, I'll attest. I lost my dad when I was 12. I can relate in a different way. And that it made me grow up pretty quick. I'll be honest, even at the age of 12. So I just, I can relate on a different level. Obviously, I don't know what it feels like to lose my dad to cancer, but I can definitely relate to you, man. So I want you to know that you're not alone, and it speaks volumes of you to open up like that. So,
yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So obviously, your junior year at ULM, though, you have a heck of a season, man.
Yeah.
Heck of a season. 10-12. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about ULM Monroe and that junior season and what I want to say the comeback season, basically, almost for you.
No, it was. I call it the same thing. I call that. Yeah. I like I said, like I came in as a walk-on, so I had to, like, nothing was given to me. I had to work for everything, and nobody cared about anything else that was going on. It was like, hey, like, you got to come in, do your job, do everything right, and then maybe you'll earn a scholarship. So for 2 years under Callum Sutherland, I was doing everything right. I would say is probably the talent that I had my first year at ULM, my second year at ULM was probably equivalent to my third year, the comeback year. But the thing is, when you have another guy in your position who also isn't making mistakes, you don't, as a kicker, they don't rotate you, So I kind of had to sit back. So I just had that time to learn. My final year at ULM comes along. My head coach, Terry Bowden, came up to me and he goes, hey, look, like, you're the guy to be on scholarship, but we want to see you, like, roll with the ones for good and earn your role. So I just took that and ran with it. I was working out with the team. I'd come back by myself after lunch. I'd work out, and then about 10, 11 at night, it was all cardio. And I did that every single day. And I got myself in the strongest, best shape leading up for that season. I go into spring, new special teams coordinator, and I had a great spring, and they trusted me. They put me on a scholarship. So going into this season now, there's a quote that I always use from Boogie Knight. He was one of our receivers at ULM. He's playing professional ball now, but I asked him before my first year starting at ULM, like, how do you handle this pressure going out there? And he said, if you know that you put the work in, it leaves no doubt. Like, you should never doubt yourself if you know that you're doing everything right. So I went into that season, I knew how hard I worked. So really, like, people ask, like, was there pressure? Like, no, like, there was no pressure. I went out there and I knew, like, it was a feeling like I knew every single kick was going to go through. There was never a doubt. Like, you could line me up from 60. There was never a doubt in my mind, like, it's going to go through. And that's kind of the mentality that I had going into that season, and it really helped. I grew up a lot. I matured. I put a ton of work in, and I was able to show it on the field to everybody.
I got a question. I was looking up to see if you guys were there when you guys came to Baton Rouge a couple years ago. I see your brother was punting. I'm guessing you were on the roster. You just weren't. Colin was the main kicker. I was curious, how does it feel to be kicking on a 2-post versus a 1-post field goal? And does that mess with your psyche at all as a kicker?
It's kind of funny. It did, in a way. We actually, all the specialists were kind of laughing and talking about it before the game. But, at the end of the day, like, no matter what, every single kick is supposed to be the same. Even an extra point or a 60-yarder, you're supposed to hit it the exact same. And you're never actually aiming at the uprights. If you aim at the uprights, you're going to miss. You always want to find a target, either a pole, a cloud, a face, somebody back there, and that is who you're aiming at. And it's just a lot of just muscle memory. Factors like that, like, kind of laugh about it, but really, when it comes down to it, it's the same kick every time, no matter the stadium you're in. I mean, like I said, like, I kicked at NAIA, and then I kicked, sold out crowd at Notre Dame. So, like, it's really just all the same.
I'm gonna put a clip up on here. My wife went to Texas A&M, if you don't know, Derek, and I think you made a pretty impressive kick here that I'm about to show. So here it is.
Kick is on the way, and it is good. So the Warhawks do pick up 3.
What was that like? at Kyle Field, all these people just screaming at you.
Yeah.
And I know how loud it gets in there. I've never personally been to a game, but my wife always says, "Oh, it's the largest stadium. It's the best." I'm like, "You've never been to Memorial Stadium."
Yeah.
Walk me through that. How do you kick that through?
Man, if my coach at ULM ever heard this, he'd be making me run laps. So my brother was at that game, and he was right behind us, and I knew like third downs coming, and the game was pretty tight. It was the beginning of the game, so it wasn't like we're down by like 50 or anything like that, like garbage time. Like it was still pretty close. My brother's behind me, and he has his cell phone out, and it's like third down. And he's like, "Hey, Derek, you ready?" I was like, "Come on, man, let's go." And then fourth down, they're like the yell field goal team, and I turn around, and I go, "Hey, you recording this?" And he got his camera. He's like, "Yeah." Like middle, like as I'm like running out, I was like, "All right, yeah, get a video." I was like, "Hey, get a video. I got posted on Instagram." And I went out there, dude. Like, but that's like, and like I said, like it's. Some people could look at it like cocky, but it was just the confidence. Like it was just so much confidence that like I knew I would rather feel like that than go out there like shaking or like, oh my gosh. But no, man, that was a great ball. It came off my foot great. It was a straight line. It was a great feeling. It was a great feeling. And it's always so funny as a kicker. It's when other, first down, second down, whatever, everybody's getting yelled at. Quarterback's getting yelled at. You just hear. But as a kicker, you only really hear the same thing every time, and it's like miss, you suck, you're a kicker, like you're just a kicker, like this and that. So I always just try to laugh at that type of stuff. So I was hearing that when I ran out there, and you can never be too cocky before you kick, but when after, now it's like, oh yeah, I just made it. Now you can kind of do whatever, say whatever. No, that was a great feeling for sure. My whole family was there watching. That was a good feeling for sure.
Was there any fans chirping at you that whole game? Like,
oh yeah, fans love to chirp at me because there's not many like 6'4" kickers, right? So everybody's like, oh, you're just a washed up other position. That's why you gotta kick a football. And but I love it though, man. Like we played at Alabama the year before. Their student section was definitely pretty wild. But I'd say probably the worst I got it was Texas State that year after Texas A&M. Yeah, we played Texas State. It was a homecoming game, night game, sold out. That I heard a lot. And I'll take full accountability. Rightfully deserved. I was taunting a little bit. I just came off. I made a 48-yarder thing to put us up by 2. Went in again, made another field goal, and then it's like fourth down. Gosh, like 20 seconds left, and we're in field goal range now, but it's a deep field goal. It's like my coach came up to my head coach. He goes, "Hey, can you make this?" It's 58 yards out, and I remember, I'm coming off. I'm 2 for 2 now, so now my head is like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I look at him, and I say, "Yeah," and cameras following me. Got ESPN like grabbing the cord and stuff, following behind me, and the fans are yelling, going crazy because they know that I'm gonna have to go in. I just started doing this. I'm like, come on, like, let me hear it. I'm like, yeah. And it's so funny because when I think about that, I'm like, dang, I was 25 yards away. I was 58 yards away, egging the crowd on. I'm like, this could really come back and bite me. And then, I think like a quarterback like threw an interception or whatever. So, kind of, like energy went down. I was like, well, I would have made it. That's kind of what I just kept saying. I was like, I would have made it, but. Yeah, I mean, as a kicker, man, you hear a lot for sure.
I got you. I just always wondered that.
Yeah.
Hey, you were talking about finding something and focusing on it when you're kicking. So, Brendan, in that clip, we see the All-State sign.
Yeah.
So when your
kick is on the way, and it is good. So the
Wait, sorry, you muted out a little bit. Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I was saying the All-State sign back there. Is that what you aim at when you're a kicker at those big schools?
Yeah.
In the middle?
Yep. Aim right into the hands. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. So
I'm gonna start looking for that now. Every time someone kicks, what they're aiming for. That's intriguing.
Yeah.
I never thought about that, to be honest, from a kicker standpoint.
Yeah.
So after your junior season, you obviously decide to enter the transfer portal. Some websites had you as the number 3 kicker in the portal. Walk me through this process of why why Indiana? We're a dumpster fire at this point. I'm not even going to lie to you, Derek.
Yeah.
We had probably one of our worst seasons. We almost lose to Akron the year before. I watched the game, went into overtime. Like, was it Signetti and the staff that really brought you to that, or was it some type of feeling of like, man, this is home?
Yeah, Signetti definitely brought, definitely kind of made the decision for me with the call that we had. But backing up a little bit, when I had entered the portal, I was coming off an injury, and I got injured. I want to say it was the week before Ole Miss, my last year at ULM, and I tore my quad, like grade 2 tear, no surgery, but coaching staff gets fired. I entered the portal, and since our coaching staff got fired, I was able to enter a week before.
Gotcha.
And I remember I went in the portal and I'm sitting there, I'm waiting by my phone because my coaches were literally telling me like, hey, look, with the film you have right when you enter, be ready for your phone to be like blown up. So I'm waiting, like an hour goes by, nothing. 2 hours go by, nothing. And all of a sudden it was just one after another. It was Memphis, it was North Texas, it was Jacksonville State, it was Arkansas, Oregon. Their whole coaching staff was following me. A lot of coaches were messaging. Now, the difference from Indiana and the other places, so I picked up a handful of full scholarships. North Texas actually called me that day and goes, hey, what are you doing tomorrow at 6 a.m.? And I'm still in Louisiana. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I have nothing planned. He's like, hey, well, look, we're going to get you on a flight. Do you want to come take a visit here? And I was kind of amped up, even though, North Texas, they're a great program still, but I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm not doing anything tomorrow. So I do a great visit. And I remember as these full scholarships were getting offered, I'm getting all excited. A lot of the coaches were then texting me saying, like, hey, like, well, we just heard about your injury. They wanted to fly down, take me out to dinner and like watch me kick. And at that time, I can't like move. So, but I'm also afraid of telling them that because then they're just going to be like, okay, well, we're going to take your offer away. Yeah. Indiana had called me. And before they said anything about the injury, I had told them, I go, hey, look, like, I just want to just be honest with you guys. I am coming off an injury, and I have not kicked a football in about a month. I can't kick a football at all right now. And they were so cool about it. Like, they were absolutely like, they're like, hey, look, like, we already knew this. We're in no rush. We're going to get you here. We're going to give you the best treatment. We're going to get you strong. And we don't even want you kicking a football until March. And so that was a really good sign to me because now I'm thinking of it like, okay, these guys, if they're going to take a chance on me coming off an injury, that tells me how bad they want me. And that gave me a lot of confidence. So Signetti FaceTimes me. I'm in my living room and he's sitting back just like this. And I mean, he just pitched it straight to me like how he wanted it. He's like, hey, look, man, we're going to offer you a full scholarship, NIL. And Signetti, he's a pretty intimidating person if you don't know him. So I don't quote me, but I believe at that time it was kind of like, not like, hey, you have to give me an answer right now, but it was very like, it's a business. And I'm thinking if I say no to this, they can go get anybody else. I knew it was the Big Ten. But I also knew the record that they were coming off of. Yeah. But as a kicker for me, it wasn't so much about how the team did. It's like, how could I do in an environment like in the Big Ten, a stadium like this, playing big games? Because at the end of the day, the ultimate goal for any college football player is you want a shot at the NFL. What is going to give me the best shot at the NFL in a very humble way, like a very unselfish way? Like what could give me the best opportunity to showcase my talent? And I looked at the schedule, loved everything that Coach Signetti said, loved the special teams coach, Coach Kane, and I decided right there. I was like, let's do it. I was like, I don't even need to take a visit. So I didn't take a visit at all. So I packed up all my stuff. And like a week later, I was there and moved into my apartment. And from there,
Was it a little bit of a culture shock, like going to Bloomington? Or was it like a normal
No, it was for sure. I mean, I've only been in the snow like once. And so I'm coming off, staying here in South Florida and Louisiana. And then snowed a little bit in Louisiana, and then when I got to Indiana, I mean, I didn't see the sun. I don't think I saw the sun for like 2 months.
Oh God!
I told you that, Jay. That's why I moved. That was one of the reasons why I moved from Indiana. I told you.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I'm walking to 5 a.m. weights in like my Nike Dunks, like through the snow, and I'm slipping and falling. I'm like, oh gosh, like this is like, yeah, definitely a culture shock for sure. Definitely like an everything shock, really, because I was also, when I was at ULM, I was with my brother, and I was also with my best friend from back home who was on the football team as well. Now it's like, man, I'm going to a state I've never been to. I'm completely by myself, 1-bedroom apartment by myself. And so it definitely, it was a lot of change for sure.
I hate those winters, man. They're the worst.
Yeah.
I went up to Ohio for work late in the year, and my family's from up north. But man, when I was there for work, I was like, I hate this because I haven't seen the sun since I've been here. So I know exactly what that feels like, but I couldn't imagine doing it for 2 months straight. I went back and forth for work.
Yeah.
Was there someone when you first got on campus, who was the first teammate that you really became close with and started a brotherhood with?
Jackson Miller. So he was a long snapper there. So it's kind of funny. My first day there, I had no idea how to get around the facility at all. Like not a single clue, because you have to have a key card, and the second that door shuts behind you, you're locked in, and you go outside, you're gonna have to go all the way back around, have someone let you in. So we get done with our first team meeting. I haven't met like any of the players yet, completely like by myself. Because at the same time, a lot of guys transferred from JMU. So everybody kind of, even the transfers knew each other. I didn't know a single person, like not a single person. I never spoke to anybody. I didn't have any mutual friends there, nothing. And going to the team meeting, I went out the wrong door and it took me out to the game field. And it's like pitch black out, and took me out to the game field, and I go to open the door and it's locked. And I see all the players walking to the team meeting. I'm like, there's no way I'm about to be late to like the first team meeting. I'm like banging on the door, I'm knocking on it, and then Jackson Miller had opened it. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, you tell me. I was like, I have no idea how to get around. I'm just going to follow you. So we kind of laughed about it. And then from there on out, we stayed really close. So he was definitely the one person that I definitely bonded with the most and became really close with, like pretty much from the jump.
Were those JMU guys, like, were they all pretty cool? Like, did they all like try to include everyone, or was it like they had their own little circle?
So that was the one thing that Coach Signetti really like emphasizes. He's like, hey, look, we're not this is not JMU. Like, we're not JMU. We are Indiana University. Like, we are IU. And what made it really easy though was not that they had already known each other and kind of traveled as a group. It was the opposite. Like, they were, and I'm not trying to be biased, but this was one of the best group of players as a whole that I've ever been on. Out of all the teams I've been on, like the JMU guys, super nice guys, like really cool guys, like really, but they were just nice. Like, everybody was so cool with each other. There was no, like, a lot of football teams, there's kind of cliques, right?
Yeah.
This was the complete opposite. There was no cliques on the team. You could be the starting quarterback, Curtis. Like, I'd go in the training room and Curtis and they're just talking to anybody, like the water girls just sitting there, or the trainers, like everybody, like nobody was too good for one another. There was never like nobody was super cocky. And that, you would think that like once we start winning games, like that would come. It never did. So everybody was all like, we were literally one team. Like, we were one unit, one group of guys. And that is what made it so enjoyable being at Indiana, for sure. Aside from the winning, everything was that everybody they were just good people. Coaching staff, like Signetti did an incredible job with like everybody down the line, from coaches, players, staff, trainers, like every person you could think of. We're all on the same page. We're all super close, super tight.
Is he a really hard coach to play for? I know he comes from the Saban tree. Is he really hard on his players, or is he just very realistic, I want to say?
He sets the tone early.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know what the standard is and the tone of the program and who we are very early. So if you're not bought in, then you're gone.
I got you.
And I feel like I as a head coach, like to be a winning team, like you have to do that early on. Like, you kind of have to be the bad guy early on. Like, everybody's intimidated, everybody's kind of scared of you. You got to yell. As the year went on, he respected you, we respected him, and that carried throughout the entire season, for sure. So hard coach, not really. I mean, tough on his players. Like we had a job and we knew what we had to do. So if we ever got yelled at or anything like that, or it was something that we did, and really couldn't blame anybody but ourselves.
I gotcha. I was really asking that because I know Nick Saban was like very electric, and I know he came from that in his practices and the way he goes about things. But the way you just described Coach Cincinnati gives me great hope and future vision of Indiana football, because we have been through the ringer, man. And I'll be honest, when he first came on the scene, I was very skeptical. I was really skeptical of what this result will be. He's very confident. And then David, he couldn't be on here, but he actually worked for the Indiana football team from 2014 to 2018. And so we bleed cream and crimson, but all of a sudden this cocky guy from JMU comes on the scene, and we're like, we didn't know how to take it at first, but then we kind of vibed with it, I want to say, throughout the season of like, oh, you can't beat us. And so I definitely felt like the team, even through the 2024 and the 2025 season, y'all definitely, I felt like, got better each game, I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout the season. But I do want to talk about that, obviously. 11-2. Probably, I want to go on this and say it's the best season Indiana football's had.
Yeah.
You could go and say 1945 was the best season, or 1967, but that was a long time ago, and we're here in the present. And so that was a long time ago. And so some highlights from that, obviously a lot of memorable victories. Notable wins, though, was kicking Purdue's rear end into the ground, 66-0. And I believe you might have saved like a touchdown from a return. Like,
some say for sure.
Let's look into that. I think it was like a Pat McAfee, like boom. Let's see.
So won't you just let me be? I've been here times before.
Thank you.
I kept that 0 up there.
Yep.
Awesome.
So what was that like?
Man, that moment right there.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, as a kicker, the sideline is your best friend. Like, you're always trying to push them to the sideline, because the worst thing that could happen to a kicker is an open hole and then they cut to the inside the field, because you're not going to catch them. Especially the hard thing about making a tackle as a kicker is all the other guys, you're running full speed down. Right, a kicker, you're not. You're kind of, just standing there because you have to be like the back line. So you kick the ball, you jog down there, and you kind of just fill in the gap. But the only thing is, when you're filling in the gap, if you run too far up and he gets through, like, you're done. Like, that's when the coaches will shoot you out. So you kind of have to stand there. So in that moment, I'm thinking, this is gonna go bad, because I'm standing there, and but I saw him do a little shake. Started going toward the sideline, and he beat me for sure. Like, he was fast. Like, the guy was fast. Yeah. And last second I was like, man, I got to make an attempt. Like, I got to do something. So I just dove. My eyes are shut, and I just clip his cleat, and I could feel the cleat on my hand. I was like, okay, I got it. That's all that matters.
Awesome.
That's all that matters. We're good now.
I saw that on your Twitter, and I was like, I'm gonna clip this. This is like perfect. And then
as a kicker, you don't get many opportunities. Like, you don't get many opportunities to make a tackle. So when you get one, like, you got to let the world know, like, hey, look at me. Like, I'm a kicker, but I'm almost a football player now.
Awesome. I'm an athlete.
Yeah, I'm an athlete. Yeah, exactly.
But you also made a saving tackle against Michigan. I mean, obviously that was a tight game. But
you got that clip?
I don't have that clip. I wish I did. But it was from your highlights. I saw it.
Yeah. Man, it's perspective. I always say it's perspective. It's how you look at the tackle. So in my head, I hit stick. I trucked the guy. I made him fumble out of bounds, right? But you could also look at it another way, like, oh, he hit sticked you, like this and that, whatever. No, that was I almost got targeting on that, actually. The ref came up to me. He wasn't too happy, but he was like,
what, as a kicker, he going to call targeting? Would you have been the first one?
I may be the first one. Honestly, in the back of my mind, like, obviously I would never want that because it hurts the team, but
yeah,
I kind of wanted them to almost give me targeting so they could put it up on the Jumbotron and I could watch it again. Because when I was coming off the sideline, I was amped up. I was like, I'm flexing. I'm like, yo, let's go. My head was ringing. My eyes are going all over the place. Yeah, we collided pretty well on that one for sure.
I'm trying to see if I can find. Is it on your?
It's on my Instagram. Like I said, you gotta let the world know. So.
Let me see if I can find it.
I loved it, man. I loved every second of it, man. Just
yeah.
boom.
Yeah, that was nice.
But I'm gonna back up a little bit from the Purdue game because I know the Purdue game was a little later. There was a big game against Ohio State in the shoe, number 2 versus number 5. Kind of walk me through the pregame and obviously the game's happening. Describe how hyped the team was for that game because I got goosebumps. Yeah. I was like, we're about to walk in Ohio State and just whack them. Yeah. That's literally what I thought.
I mean, I could honestly say the energy was, and this is coming from Coach Signetti and what he really preached was like, this is just another game. Now, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, everybody in the back of their mind, every player knows what type of game we're walking into. But we, it's just one of those things. You never get too high, never get too low. And yeah, I mean, I definitely everybody's excited for it. Everybody knows what's at stake. But I would honestly say it was the same routine. We never changed anything from our pregame meals all the way down. Like we didn't change a single thing. It's hey, look, we're going in, and one thing that Coach Sig really emphasized was that no team is we're Indiana. Like we're whooping these teams as well. So let's not go into this thinking that we're playing the greatest team in the world. Like don't forget like what we've done this season. Like we're up there as well. So yeah, I mean honestly, like from a fan's perspective, I could see for sure how amped up and hyped, but really for the players, like it was just another football game.
Huh. Yeah. I like that though.
I found it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share. Yeah. Share my screen. Let's see. So let me know when it comes up before I start.
It's up there.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, there it is.
Let's put the volume up. Ready?
Oh.
Whoa!
Yeah, I got in that one. Yeah, I had my head ringing. I had my head ringing a little bit. Ears were ringing, but I mean, in a game like that, I mean that was probably one of the biggest. Because I remember after that game, I was like, not only can I say like, tell my kids that we beat Michigan, it's also like, hey, your dad also made a tackle, also. So let's not forget that. So
in a 5-point game.
Yeah, in a 5-point game, exactly. Yeah. So that was exciting. That was fun. My family was pretty amped up for that.
So obviously this season, 2024, 2025, you guys beat the living crap out of Purdue. Next comes obviously the committee. Are we going to get chosen? Are we going to have a next game? There's a lot of talk that Indiana wouldn't even make it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was crap. I'll just be honest.
Yeah.
My preface. But anyways, that we shouldn't be there. But I was like, no, we deserve to be there. Describe how the team was feeling after that game and kind of the statement you guys made. And basically, like, did y'all think y'all should definitely be there?
Yeah. You're saying after the Purdue game?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. No. So we, at least for me and everyone that I was around, I don't think any of us ever had a doubt that we were going to make it. I know Coach Sig was telling us leading up to that, like, try to stay off the internet, try to stay off social media, because you're going to hear a lot. But no, honestly, none of us, I don't think any of us really had a doubt. Like, we knew in our heart, like we should be there. So I don't think it really surprised any of us, when we were chosen. So now what surprised us was like the Notre Dame matchup and like an in-state. There was a lot of talk about, should we be playing a team like Notre Dame or should we be playing, whatever, the seeding, all that stuff. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, everybody, I mean, we knew that we belonged there, and so I don't think any of us really had a doubt.
I like that. I love that. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
So you guys obviously get selected. You guys see that you're playing Notre Dame. I was hyped. Me and David are trying to buy tickets. The guy that couldn't be here, the other two arms. Walk me through kind of how the team is just trying to prepare. Is it just obviously like a normal week, like Signetti's saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is Indiana football, or was it kind of different?
I mean, like I said, the coaches really, really emphasize, like, this is just another game. Like, we don't have to play better than what we've been playing. We just have to be Indiana. We just have to be ourselves, and the rest will take care of it. But obviously, everybody, I would say there was definitely more excitement going into this game, for sure. I mean, it's the college football playoffs against a team like Notre Dame in the cold, night game. Everybody's going to be there, sold out. Tickets were going for like thousands of dollars. Like, it was like ridiculous.
Spent a lot of money to be there.
Yeah. So, and like also like we're so far into the year now. Like we're no longer like who we were first week, second, third. Like everybody knows who we are now. So I would say there's a lot of confidence. Nobody was cocky, but just a lot of like confidence. Like, again, like nobody had a doubt that we were, gonna lose. Like there was never a doubt, anything like that. Like it was like, we're gonna go in there, we're gonna win, like what we've been doing, and get ready for next week.
Yeah. Obviously the game didn't go the way we wanted, lost 27-17. First half, I know we struggled through that, but the second half, I really thought there was a different type of spark, a little different type of fire going on, and I really thought the second half was a different approach. Did Signetti like change the coaching game plan at halftime, or was he just like sticking with it?
As far as I know, I don't think anything was really changed. I think a lot of it was just momentum. Like football is all based around momentum, and so I believe Jeremiah Love was the one that scored. Like that was like a punch in the mouth to everybody. Yeah, that hasn't happened to us all year, and it was kind of like a freak thing. Like nobody was ready for that. And you could definitely tell on the sideline. It wasn't, nobody got down, nobody got too low, but it was definitely like everybody's eyes were like wide open. Like, oh man, like we got to get this momentum back. Because in the beginning, the first two drives for both of us, it was kind of back and forth. And then I believe we picked off Notre Dame, I believe.
Yes.
So that was a lot of momentum. And then, going into, I don't know, did Curtis then throw
a pick in the end zone?
Yeah. Okay. So it was a back and forth. Like we had momentum, we gave it back. They had momentum, and then when they scored on that, it was definitely like, "Whew, okay, like what now?" But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Probably a better question for another position. As a kicker, I'm just trying to stay warm on the sideline. It's like, So
it was freezing.
It was freezing.
It was one of the coldest days I've ever been a part of there. I mean, we were there at like 3 p.m. and we're just like, walking through South Bend, and man, that's a day I'll never forget, because we were in the car after the game just thawing out and just obviously reading what people were saying and things like that. But after the game, the clock hits 0.00. Life after football, was there any thoughts after, or was it just kind of just taking some time after loss to see what you want to do?
Well, for me, and I'd say for probably every other football player as well, the goal is always the NFL. And, I knew in my situation, when I went into season, I was named starting kickoff guy and starting deep field guy. So anything outside like 50 yards, I'll take kickoffs. First week, I'm on top of the world again. I'm super high up there. I was special teams player of the game against FIU, and then that second game, I blew out my leg again, and I was out for like 7 weeks. And it was, are you going to get surgery? Is this? If I got surgery, I would be done for the year. If I didn't get surgery, there's a chance I could come back. So after Notre Dame, I knew how the season had went for me. And NFL does not like injuries, and NFL likes film. If you don't have film, you can't. I mean, you just don't make it. So in my head, I was like, okay, well, I've made it this far. Now I'm going to get the rehab. I'm going to go full time, go back to South Florida, started training at Trench Academy down here in Tampa, and I was there Monday through Saturday, and I got rehab for like 2 hours every single day. Worked the hardest I've ever worked because I knew I was like, I'm going to give it everything I have for pro day. Because pro day, no matter what type of season you had, if you impress the coaches at pro day, that is really what does it for you. And yeah, so I trained for pro day, and I gave it everything I had, and I had an incredible pro day. And the following day, I'm getting on my flight to head back home to Florida, and I get a call when I was on like the little like trolley, whatever, to get to the airport. Yeah. And I get a call, and I've been getting so many spam calls. So this call comes on my phone. I look at it. I'm in the middle of having a conversation with my brother. He's like, and I put the phone down. He's like, hey, like, who's calling? I was like, I don't know. He's like, well, you should be answering every call. What if it's a coach? I'm like, it's an Alabama number. So I answer it. He's like, hey, Derek, this is Coach Weber from the Colts. And so we had a great conversation. He's like, hey, man, like, how would you like to come out in about like 3 weeks, maybe like a month, and come work out with the team, meet the coaches and stuff like that. So I was like super like amped up for that. Went back to Tampa, started training, did that invite to the Colts, and then I would say what really gave me like the most hope for the NFL was that call, because I knew I was like, man, like I could really do this. Like, being told by like family and friends, it's great, but like, there's nothing like getting a call from an NFL team, right? And so I go there, and they had me compete against another guy. We went head to head, and I had a great workout there. I believe I was 11 for 12 on field goals, and the coach, final kick, he lined me up from 60 yards and hit it right down the middle. And had a great workout with the Colts. Talked to the coach a lot. He loved me, loved everything that I had to say, everything about him, and went home. And as a kicker, you don't really get drafted unless you're like the number one guy. I didn't get a call. But I just got back from San Diego, did like a free agent workout. That went pretty well. And so now it's just, at the same time, life catches up to you. So it's where are your priorities in life? And, we're however many months out of season now, bills, getting a place to stay, stuff like that. So I just moved into my new home here in Tampa, just moved in this last weekend. And, but yeah, I mean, I'm still working out. Because the hardest thing about me is that I progress so much later, I would say. Like, I've always been talented, but the type of kicker I am now is probably the best I've ever been. And so that's what is a little unfortunate about not being on a team right now, not, being in the NFL, is because I know that, like, right now is the best time for me to be there. I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. I'm kicking the best I've ever been. So that is, the disappointing part. But again, everybody's journey is different. Everybody has to, goes through different things. And it's kind of just like a waiting game now, really.
Yeah. I was actually on your Twitter. Well, I call it Twitter. It's X now, but whatever. Someone was chirping at you about how much you're bench pressing, man.
Yeah.
Kickers are people too. And I'm like, heck yeah, they are.
Yeah.
What was it? 225 for 16 reps?
That was 17, but who's counting?
Okay.
that was funny. Yeah, no, I saw that on Twitter, and I was just kind of laughing about it. I don't know if you thought I was being serious, but I was laughing. Put up 17 reps for a kicker. It didn't help that JMF went before me, and he put up like 31. So I wish I didn't have to go right after him. But yeah, when everybody found out it was the kicker, they're like, was that the kicker? Yeah.
I just think that's super impressive, man. I just 225 17 times, like man, you were getting it, my man. You were in the zone.
Hey, I mean, as a kicker, as a specialist, really, it's like you have to earn respect, outside of kicking a football, because we can't kick a football like 24/7. Like, while the other guys are running routes all practice long, like we can't kick a football all practice long. Like, our leg will literally like die. So you got to earn respect. When they look over and they see, the kickers are just standing there on the sideline or whatever, well, then you got to take everything else serious. Like, when you go in the weight room, like, my mindset was always like, it didn't matter that I'm a kicker. Like, I'm trying to beat out whoever's next to me. So if you're a linebacker, whatever, like, I want to be stronger than you, faster than you. And that's kind of like the what kind of separates specialists is because there is a stigma around specialists and kickers. Like, oh, he's just a kicker. But, Pat McAfee really helped us out with what he's been doing. So, yeah, I look up to him a little bit.
Just a little bit? He's the man.
Yeah, he is.
We all love Pat on this podcast. He's the dude, man. He's in my opinion, he's revolutionized the way sports is connected and broadcasted to other people.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he does it his own way. That's the best part about it. Is he doesn't care what people think. He's gonna say whatever he wants, and you can't cancel him. He's Pat McAfee. Like,
right.
You know what you're listening to.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I'm a big Colts fan, so Indianapolis Colts, sign this man. Give him a chance.
There you go. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's run it.
Yeah.
Give him that call.
I know, man. Like I said, it was a great workout. But there's a lot of factors that go into it. And my whole thing was like, the NFL, like, even if you do get an opportunity, you don't ever really. That's not really your job until like the third year. Like, you can get cut no matter who you are. Like, you can get a call, fly in, and 2 days later be back on a plane flying home. So that is like the scary part about the NFL is like, just because you get a call or you get signed, that means nothing really until like you're probably 3 years in. Then it gets like more serious,
Yeah.
Hey, Derek, you're talking about looking up the McAfee. I'm just curious, what's the kicker you look up to the most that's in the NFL right now?
Man, there's so kind of a sleeper. You don't hear too much about him, but Jason Myers for the Seahawks. So I trained with him last summer, and that guy is just unreal. And I didn't even really know much about him at all, but his kicking technique. Was able to talk to him and Daniel Carlson for the Raiders a little bit. And yeah, so I'd say he's definitely up there, but I would say as like the guy that everybody kind of knows, Harrison Bunker, I would say is really, I've been watching him for
dog.
Yeah. I've been watching him for a long time. And I've always tried to not compare myself to him, but always, watch him and study him because he's also a really tall guy. We're kind of built the same. He's like 6'3", 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always watched his film and tried to study him. So he's definitely up there for sure.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I like to do a little fun questions at the end, Eric. And I'm a big food guy. And I know what's down in Bloomington.
Let's do it.
It's a lot of good food. Where are we going? Where are we going to get lunch and dinner here?
So, oh, man. I'm a big fan of the Tap. Now, we don't have, I've never seen a Tap like the Tap in, Florida. I don't know. Is that, just a Bloomington thing, or is that all over?
I don't know, honestly. I'll be honest. I don't know.
Talking about, yeah.
Okay, so the Tap, that's definitely up there. Fat Dan's? Mm-hmm. That's up there for some wings. That's some good food. Buffalo's is good. I like the vibe of Buffalo's more than the food. I like the experience, right?
Yeah. That's part of it.
Yeah. I'd say yeah, that's probably and man, there's one more that's on the other side of the Tap. I forget what it's called. I was going there a lot though.
Is it Uptown Cafe?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good as well. No, it's not that. It's gosh, why can't I think of it? If Jackson Miller was here, he would know because that was his favorite place. We used to go all the time. No, I can't remember, but I would say probably those three for sure.
I got you. Yeah, I just always like to ask those questions because I'm just curious. And then, what
is it one of these?
Huh?
I was just seeing if it was one of these. I'm just looking where the Tap is.
Oh, I know my question. I don't know if you know much about the bar scene, but I gotta ask this because it's a hot topic among fans.
Yeah.
The upstairs was not what the upstairs was back then.
Yeah.
But are we going to the upstairs or KOK? I gotta know.
Oh man. Why not both, right? Like I say start off at upstairs and then make your way over to KOK. Now upstairs, I don't know. I like both a lot, to be honest. But I would honestly say my favorite is probably Bluebird. Because I'm a music guy, so honestly, I'm a big, man, you throw live music on, I don't care where it's at, who it is, I'm sitting there listening to it. But I would say the debate between KOK and upstairs. I gotta say KOK for sure.
I love it. Yeah. Derek, where can people find you on social media?
Oh man. All right. So Instagram, Derek McCormick, it's DEREK McCormick. And yeah, Twitter or X. And I don't even know what it is. I think it's McCormick Derek 1, I think. But yeah.
I gotcha. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, man. It was an honor having you, and obviously go Hoosiers. But it was a blast just talking ball with you and just talking through the season and your journey. And we just really appreciate your time. So
yeah, well, I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Derek. If you guys want more content like this, go to 5armsandluckyfin.com. Go at the bottom. We have all our socials down there. If you guys want to support the podcast, there's a little money sign on the website. Even $3 helps a little bit. So give us a shout out on that if you want. And then if you guys want to follow us on Twitter or Instagram, our Instagram is 5ALF Podcast. Peace. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.